In the previous video, we looked at the 3 layers to the influence model: the energies, influence styles, and behaviors. In this video, we will look at the behaviors which form each influence style. As already mentioned, behavior is what you do and what you say. It is what others perceive you to do and what you perceive others doing in influence situations. You probably remember that there are 2 influence styles within the push energy: persuading and asserting. Sometimes we call persuading the it style, as it is facts, data, and logic which determines the best course of action. We call asserting the I style because it is about what you want to achieve. Persuading the it style comprises 2 behaviors: proposing and reasoning. With proposing, you recommend the optimum course of action. When you apply proposing well, you make it clear to others that you want to find a solution. You are not just in it for the discussion. You can begin your proposing with phrases like, "I suggest that," "I recommend," "I have an idea, let's." You apply reasoning to provide the other person with the arguments supporting your proposal. Reasoning works best when you bring forward the arguments which best convince the other person. In order to do so, you have to understand that others may think differently than you do. You can use phrases like, "My arguments are, studies show, because." Asserting the I style comprises 3 behaviors: evaluating, stating expectations, and incentives and pressures. You use evaluating to express how you perceive a given situation. You express what you like and dislike and want to see changed. You use phrases like, "I like that," "I do not like that." You apply stating expectations to tell the other person exactly what you want him or her to do. You do not argue your case. You can use phrases like, "I would like you to," "I need you to." When you apply incentives and pressures well, you let the other person know what will happen if he or she meets or does not meet your expectations. When you use incentives and pressures well, the other person knows his or her options and is also informed that you are willing to negotiate. You can use phrases like, "If you do X, I am able to offer you Y. If you do not do A, I have to do B." You probably also remember that there are 2 influence styles to the pull energy: bridging and attracting. Sometimes we call bridging the U style, because its focus is to involve the other person whom you want to influence. We sometimes call attracting the we style, because it focuses on what you and the other person can achieve together. Bridging the U style comprises 3 behaviors: involving, listening, and disclosing. You apply involving by encouraging the person whom you want to influence to participate and bring forward his or her viewpoints on how your objective can be achieved. When you apply involving well, the other person will feel genuinely appreciated. He or she will know that you really want to understand his or her point of view. You can use phrases like, "What will it take for you to? Please say more about." With listening, you listen to the other person by paraphrasing what he or she has said or feels. When you apply listening well, you show that you sincerely want to understand his or her viewpoint and feelings, and you build up a mutual understanding and trust. You can use phrases like, "So what you're saying is that," "If I understand you correctly, your greatest concern is that." With disclosing, you share your emotions with the person whom you want to influence. For instance, you can disclose your own uncertainty or enthusiasm, or you can tell about previous mistakes or relevant experience. When you apply disclosing well, You create a climate characterized by trust, which also makes the other person comfortable with opening up. You can use phrases like, "I need your help," "You are right, it was a mistake when I..." Attracting the we style comprises two behaviors: finding common ground and sharing visions. You apply finding common ground to identify the interests, ideas, beliefs, and values which you share with the person whom you want to influence. When you apply finding common ground well, you enhance something specific which can support your collaboration. You can use phrases like, "We have previously managed to," "We share the concern that." You use sharing visions to paint a picture which is desirable to both you and the person whom you want to influence. When you apply sharing visions well, you create a sense of unity with the other person, and you create enthusiasm about the opportunities in a collaboration. You can use phrases like, "Visualize how," "Imagine how the two of us," "In a year we will both." Disengaging is different from the push and pull energies in the sense that it is a tactical maneuver which makes it possible to take your energy out of an influence situation in a positive and productive way. Disengaging is always a temporary maneuver, and it is used with the purpose to return to the subject later on and continue the pursuit of your objective. There are 4 actions which you can take with disengaging. You perform each of these by using one of the 4 influence styles. You can take a break, postpone the conversation, give and receive feedback, change the subject. If you take a break, this should be short. If you postpone the conversation, you schedule this for later. By giving and receiving feedback, you have the opportunity to discuss your collaboration and adjust the code of conduct if needed. If you change the subject, you proceed to a new subject and return later on to the one you left with your disengaging maneuver. You apply avoiding when you use the energy to moving away unconsciously, or when you give up your objective. Avoiding is perceived as unproductive and negative by others, and they will think that you give up on your objective. At the Power to Influence course, you will learn much more about the energies, influence styles, and behaviors to the influence model. You will also learn how you feel about applying these.